Okay, so Andy, so when you sat down for the first hand, what did that feel like playing the main event after dreaming about it your whole life?
So a little nervous. I didn't recognize anyone there at the table, so it was just like, let's take it one hand at a time. I didn't want to get out of line at all really early, but like a little nervous, not gonna lie. But then like after the first couple of hands, you just kind of sit in like it's any normal tournament. The only difference is, you got a little bit of a camera on you most of the time, so that was a bit of a change.
Welcome to All In with Colin. I am your host, Colin Capone. Thank you for being here. First up, it's been a minute, I know, but I'm back now and I will have more episodes coming in the next few weeks, and I will strive to make sure they're all worth the wait. Today's interview was recorded so long ago, one of my guests was actually a kid when we recorded it, and now he has his own kid. Life comes at you fast. I really want to apologize to Frankie and Andy, my guests, for taking so long with this. Initially, I had some quality issues with the audio, and I couldn't figure out a way to get it to be passable. Eventually, I did find a way to clean it up and got it mostly usable, but a lot of time had passed since recording, and I didn't know what to do, and then got busy, and then, time continued to tick by, and I was like, oh man, what do I do, right? But then I ran into Frankie at a GG poker party at the World Series of Poker, and he told me to go ahead and still use it. And the other guest, Andy, I actually ended up rooming with him for the club WPT Gold $5 million free roll in Vegas, and he also said go ahead with it. So here we are. So again, sorry for the slow roll, guys, and let's get to the interview. All right, next up, I'm joined by two people. One is a poker player from Dallas who is one of the creators of Next Gen Poker, and he recently had a contest where he gave away a $10,000 World Series of Poker main event seat. And we are also joined by the winner of this contest. He's a 36-year-old from Toronto who's in the insurance business. I'm very excited to welcome Frankie Cucchiara and Andy Morsillo to the show. Frankie and Andy, welcome to All In with Colin. How are you?
Hey, doing great. And you did great on the last name too. That was like perfect. So thank you for the introduction. I appreciate it and glad to be here. Nice to see Andy again.
How's it going? How's it going? Nice to be here. Thanks for having us, Colin.
Yeah, first off, Frankie and Andy, it sounds kind of like an old sitcom. I don't know. Frankie and Andy. All right, so you guys met. So let's just we'll take it back. Frankie, we'll start off maybe just for people who don't know about Next Gen. Maybe just a quick explanation of what Next Gen is all about.
Yeah, I would love to. So I'm 23 and I started playing poker in my fraternity in college at SMU and here in Dallas, Texas. And that's why I fell in love with poker for the first time. And two of my buddies in my fraternity were the last guys hanging out with me every night playing poker till 4 a.m. We just loved the game more than the rest of the guys. And we started a group chat called Poker Theory. And from there, we ended up recording the very first time we drove up to the casino and played poker as like a poker vlog, as some of our favorites, Brado and Andrew Nemi, were doing. So we were still juniors in college when we started the YouTube channel. Our team of three we called Next Gen Poker because we were kind of the youngest guys in the game on YouTube doing it. So we were thinking of ourselves as Next Gen. We started posting short form content on TikTok and YouTube that did really well. And then I graduated college last year, and after a short stint of consulting, decided to take this Next Gen Poker brand that I worked on in college full time. And I got my two buddies I do it with. And then I got another channel called Frankie C, which is where I did this big giveaway that's where I ended up meeting Andy.
That's awesome. Okay. And I watched a bit of a couple of your videos there, and I seen with those three guys. So are they still, they used to have regular jobs? Are they still working, or is it Next Gen is full time now, or?
Yeah, so we all have parents that, and I know we might get into this later, but my parents weren't 100% fully on board with poker as a full-time profession, understandably, and we all got really good degrees at Southern Methodist University. So we all graduated in May of 2022, and we got, the good jobs that we've been working for so hard the last 4 years. And Jack and Rosie, my two best friends who run the channel with me, they still in those jobs. And last September, that's when I kind of part away with working at my consulting firm to take it full time. And then they're hoping, there is either a a gap in just next gen poker's taking off, and they could just take this side hobby full time. They're waiting for their moment to do that. So right now they're still working their jobs, and I'm the only one who is quote unquote full time with this.
Perfect. I like how you guys are going about it. You have your backup plan, and you're young
Yep.
still, so like this is the time to go for it. I like
Yeah.
it. So what inspired you to host a giveaway for like a $10,000 seat?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to just kind of make a crazy story. And when I was thinking of crazy stories, I thought of this idea, which was a challenge to myself even. So the challenge is to make $10,000 in only 30 days of playing 2-5 cash. So, it's kind of that number that's still a pretty big number for normal people. 10K in a month, a really good month. But it's also like not necessarily the easiest thing because the game isn't that big. So it's not like 5-10 where you can make 3K or 10K, maybe 10-20, 10K one night. So I thought it was a perfect challenge for myself, wanting to play more poker and really focus on playing. And I know we'll talk more about it, but it's hard to do YouTube, the content game, and play poker. So I was like, okay, this month I want to play poker. And that's when I decided to do this challenge, and no better way to kind of get people to follow along, and if there wasn't a giveaway involved. And this giveaway ended up becoming a giveaway to one of my biggest dreams, was to play the main event, and most of the poker community's biggest dream. And I was like, that's my story right there.
That's awesome. I love it. So Andy, and then you saw the contest, you heard about it, so you
Yeah.
jumped on it.
Yeah, and like, I mean, to his credit, I think he's kind of understating the work involved. Like, he's playing like full time, and then he's also cutting it short almost daily, right, Frankie? Daily,
Correct. Yeah,
and then putting it out there to show his progress each and every day. Almost what, like one day behind or almost same day.
Yeah, we
So
were on a same day basis for a little bit there.
yeah, there you go, right? Like, so then he's doing that. I stumbled upon it because I watched I think the first video he had posted on his YouTube channel. It was kind of just a funny video, and then I stumbled upon his contest when I saw him on Twitter. Like, I'd see the next gen guys like signed with WPT. And then he was running this contest. So I was like, you know what? Let's take a chance here, put my name in the hat, and apply, send in the video. And then deal with the repercussions if and when I win something afterwards. And that's kind of like the formula I stood by. And I'm like, who would ever thought it actually would have amounted to being the winner of the contest?
That's awesome. So first off, congrats on running it up to 10K in the month at 2.5. That's incredible. So how close was it? Like, how close to the main event did you cut it?
Yeah, so I got all the way up to June 29th. So it was getting close for about 4 days, was 3 days away from the very start of the main event. And I was like, okay, well, if I push it, then maybe I could, finish it on July 2nd. But I really wanted to announce it before July 2nd, July 3rd, because if someone was coming from far away, they need time to plan this. And one thing about the challenge was I didn't pay for the expenses of traveling. So it's just the main event ticket. So I was like, okay, I really want to make sure I can let someone know so they can at least get as cheap of a flight as possible. So because they're dealing with their own accommodations. And when I had started the challenge down a few thousand, but at this point I went on a sweet heater. I was up $7,500 at the very end of June. And I had a sponsor who saw my tweets and my YouTube progress reach out. And he said he wanted to donate the last $2,500. One of my subscribers, shout out to Triton Poker Tables for doing that. So it was on June 29th where I hit my goal.
That's amazing. Okay, so what did you like about Andy's entry? Like, what stuck out about him, and why did you pick him?
Oh, I like Danny's energy. I think that, it would be I didn't want anyone in my circle of content creators or friend group. I wanted someone who totally was not going to play the main, honestly, and just someone that this would be kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity with. I think Andy was the perfect person to win the award like this. I know he's been dreaming of playing the main like so many people, and I love this like challenge and giveaway so much. I'm sure that I'm gonna do this again. So make sure that you guys go follow Frankie C and get along in some of the giveaways in the future.
Awesome. So Andy, first off, so when he announced it, like what went through your head? Like, was it, you must have just been off the rails.
Shock, right? It's like the bucket list of all bucket list items as it relates to poker, right? Dreaming, like, you're a moneymaker fan, right? 03 was what caused me to get into poker. It was like the coolest thing in the world, right? sitting in cafeterias playing with like ketchup and mustard packets as chips because we didn't even know what chips were back then, and having a deck of cards, and to like dreaming about being like those guys you see on TV to like actually like living it is like insane, right? Like so like you process it and you're just like oh my god, I won, like this is amazing, this is the coolest, and it's just like oh my god, I actually won, like what do I do now? I have like a wife, I got 3 kids. I mean I wouldn't have applied it unless my wife was cool with it, but then it's like oh my god, the logistics work. Like I was actually off work that week, so it worked out great. But then you just like you got to go for it. You don't get these chances like ever, or not too many times in life, and you drop everything and you just go for it. You just hope for the best, and that's what I did.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. That's a quick turnaround time. So did you have any problems getting a flight or getting the wife's permission, anything?
No, the wife was already cool with it way before like I submitted the video. Like I just said, hey, do you mind if I submit this video, and if I win, are you cool with me going? And she was like my biggest supporter. She's like, yeah, absolutely. It's like your passion. Plus, like, what if you win? Like, what if, right? Like that's a huge help to the household. So she just like go for it. And then I had to leave from Hamilton, which is an hour and a half outside of Toronto. So that was the only direct flight I could get to get into Vegas, which wasn't too bad because it was like fairly close. But even when I arrived, like one of the first things Frankie was like, "What's Hamilton?" I thought you were from Toronto, right? So I just had to like tell him, "Hey, it's just like a little outskirt airport outside the big city, but you got to do what you got to do, right? It's the main. You pull out all the stops, and yeah, I mean, didn't take much planning, and I ended up there in a couple of days, and everything worked out.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sent it. He sent it.
Yeah, you sent it, showed up. So did you guys immediately hook up in Vegas? Like, were you guys hanging out a bit?
Yeah, I picked him up. Picked him up in the airport. I wasn't sure which gate he was coming out of, but I wanted a grand scene, and more about that was I just kind of wanted him to feel like not that he's a contest winner, but he's a VIP coming in here, living the dream of the Vegas lifestyle, and that was something that was really important to me for the story and just kind of how I wanted to go about this contest. It wasn't the most structured thing when I started it, but I wanted the end to come with just like, okay, whoever wins this, I'm going to treat him like this is a VIP weekend. He's living the dream, which, it was just kind of like that. We ended up running into a couple really famous poker like celebrities and got the full Vegas experience. And that will all be documented in a YouTube video coming out here in the next couple weeks.
Awesome. So that's great. I love that you recorded it all. We get to see it. So before I even move on, so what is the YouTube channel that we should be looking at to watch that video so we can see you picking Andy up at the airport?
Yeah, it's easy. If you remember my name, it's just Frankie and then C. So Frankie C is my personal channel, and I co-own the other channel we started talking about, which is called Next Gen Poker. So I post videos on that one with my 2 best friends whenever we're together. And then since I'm doing this full time, I post other kind of content, which I am trying to really push storytelling into my videos and kind of stray away from just like the poker hand reviews and more into, high quality poker movies and short films. So that's on my channel called Frankie C, if you guys want to check that out.
Okay, awesome. So you mentioned a couple of poker pros that you guys got to hang out with or you ran into. So do you mind dropping some names there for us?
I want to keep that a surprise for the video, but I will say that one person that was following along on Twitter was Robbie Jade, who we saw. She's kind of, a new up and coming poker personality and, very social, nice lady. And she came up and met Andy and while he was playing, and I had got to meet her in a live stream that I played on. So that's just one of a couple people that kind of randomly bumped into us. And thankfully, the couple people that I've gotten to meet just being in Vegas all summer.
Awesome. Yeah, she seems like a phenomenal person. Like I really enjoyed her updates. Very positive person.
Yeah.
So amazing how she took this really negative kind of situation and turned it into like just all this positivity. And I really like the way she's turned that around.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. She's super sweet. Like, I mean, she didn't have to take time out of her day, and the fact that she did was awesome. It's like the contest came full circle, right? Like I tagged her in my video and she supported me and in my video, and then I got to meet her live. It was awesome.
Awesome. Okay, so Andy, so when you sat down for the first hand, what did that feel like playing the main event after dreaming about it your whole life?
So a little nervous. I didn't recognize anyone there at the table, so it was just like, let's take it one hand at a time. I didn't want to get out of line at all really early, but like a little nervous, not gonna lie. But then like after the first couple of hands, you just kind of sit in like it's any normal tournament. The only difference is, you got a little bit of a camera on you most of the time, so that was a bit of a change. And honestly, really fun. The table dynamic was great. Like, everyone was there to have a good time. There was no real sticklers. Everyone was there for the experience. And yeah, and it was just super surreal. It's like, I can't believe I'm here, right? Like, taking pictures of my stack constantly, and just taking it all in, right? So definitely something I'll remember for the rest of my life. Absolutely.
That's amazing. So you both played. Frankie, you played as well, right? You went on a bit of a run.
Yeah, so I'll the quick background to that is I was totally not planning on playing. I mean, I just put all the money I made in June, I gave away. So I was like, okay, Frankie, like, this is a time where most people take a big shot at their bankroll and play the main, but you just did this big challenge. How about you just kind of set this one out? Well, when I gave the 10,000 to the cash register and I bought Andy in, it was like at that moment where it was just like calling to me like, Frankie, you need to play this tournament. The very night I go home and I'm just kind of telling my friends, I kind of want to play, and like, play. And I had this great feeling about playing. So I decided to enter with Andy, and yeah, went on a nice 5-day run, which was really surreal. I got hundreds of texts. So yeah, I love the main event. I'll definitely play next year, and I'm really glad I hopped in with Andy.
That's amazing.
The FOMO. Yeah, the FOMO.
Awesome. Yeah, no kidding. So, Andy, do you have any advice for amateurs who are going to be playing in a live event? Like a live event with if they win a satellite and they're sitting down into a 10K or a 5K, something way out of their normal situation. What do you recommend?
My recommendation is to just play with your heart. Like, don't get embrace the moment, but don't get hung up on it. Don't let it influence your decision making. Remember, like, even if you recognize people, they're all people. They all get 2 cards, right? They're no better than you or worse than you. Like, just treat everyone as equals, and just go with your gut. I've always been a guy that kind of goes with his gut when he plays. I've always been a field player. I'm not too worried about charts or any of that stuff. I just feel like if you think about it too much and get overwhelmed by the situation, you're going to make bad decisions. So just kind of block it out and just play, and move. Even if you make wrong decision in hand, just move on to the next one, and don't get caught up in the moment in terms of how cool it is, but don't let it affect your decision making.
Awesome. I love that advice. So based on this whole situation, would you think you would be interested in doing other contests like you mentioned earlier, possibly? So what do you think, Frankie? How did this go, like, overall?
Overall, it was a big learning experience and just a big experiment, but I think the result was amazing. It turned out awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing bigger, bigger, better, more efficient giveaways in the future. I think definitely for the main event next year, but all throughout the next year, I had a blast. Andre and I just had a great weekend together too. So I also just posted a video on my Frankie C channel where I did something kind of similar, but I bought 10 of my local poker dealers from my local card room into a $130 tournament. And then I did a $500 last longer bet for all of them. And I just posted that video a few days ago on that Frankie C channel. So definitely check that one out. And I had a blast doing that. That one was with 10. This one was with 1. And we got kind of like that more, like, as you can see, we joined the call, just like now we're just a good friends. And I love that part of the one-on-one giveaway. So I want to do more of those, then do more kind of group challenges too.
Awesome. I love it. I love that you're giving back. Like, you're not waiting until you're been in the game for 10, 15 years to start giving back. You're doing it right away, almost a couple years in. I really love that. And it seems like it's inspiring you as as you made Andy's weekend here, that's encouraging you. Like, it is worth it. And you're going on.
Yeah. More than the weekend. More than the weekend. You made more than the weekend.
To pick up on that, I've been given so much by just a few years I've been playing poker. So, I mean, the very first year I started this Next Gen Poker channel, I was learning 1-2 poker. And because of the YouTube channel, when I went to Vegas for my first time on the 21st birthday, I was getting invited by Matt Berkey to come to his academy. I had an interview with Patrick Antonius, and I met Jonathan Little in the same weekend. And that's just like being a brand new 1-2 poker player. And that's all attributed to the YouTube channel, where I, early on got a few thousand people supporting me right away. So, like, Yeah, only been in here a few years, but I have plenty already to give back because they've given me so much already.
Awesome. I love it. And now I seen recently WPT Global has signed Next Gen to do some content. So what do you guys have in the pipeline to do with WPT Global?
Yeah, so we have a really cool video coming out based on they've been doing a lot of tournament series at the Win. So we've got an upcoming video where we did a $10,000 buy-in tournament for the WPT at the Win. So that'll be a really fun video coming out. And then as far as the future, we don't have anything planned so far, but I know we have a couple meetings and we'll be kind of getting the next full year schedule on the way. And we got some really fun plans. The WPT deal was just for the summer. So we'll either be picking up with them or maybe a different company. But yeah, we got a lot of big plans this upcoming fall and winter.
Awesome. Okay. And then when you're back home, it sounds like you travel a bit now. So when you are at home and you go to your local rooms, so are you more recognized? Are you famous now? Is hey, Frankie, the boys are here?
It's funny. I just went to go play 1-2 at my local room in Dallas, and this guy who hadn't said anything to me the whole time just looked up and was like, "How is?" Oh, he said, "Congrats on your main event run." And like that was just like kind of surreal. I was like, "Oh, like this guy who." Now there's probably people who recognize me. Probably don't say anything, but yeah, I do get a lot of people just in the card rooms that I go to often. Yeah, they get a couple people saying hi, and I really appreciate that type of stuff.
Awesome. Okay, so you mentioned a bit about your parents. So what what are their feelings now, or like when you go to a family function and they're like, Frankie, what kind, what's the story? Are you getting? Yeah,
That's a great question. So I've always been really close with my mom and dad, and they definitely were thinking that Next Gen Poker was just going to end when college ended. And it was kind of just like, one of those like clubs you just finish off and wrap the books and tie it done. But no, that's not what happened. I was fully doing it on the side with my consulting. And when I told them I want to do it full time back like last fall, they obviously were just more pushing me to just do the traditional engineering job. And then when they saw that I was like really serious about telling them, no, I want to try this YouTube thing full time, they kind of just gave me okay, you're young and you're smart and we believe in you, but you only can have a few years at this before you got to go back to the engineering and try and do that if things aren't working out for you. So, I mean, I can appreciate that, but for me, there's no 2 years, there's no time limit because like, I just know this is going to work out because I just truly believe in it. So I think that at this point, now that we're even 8 months past that initial kind of conversation, they're very supportive. I got called by my mom, my dad, and I got texts from my sisters after the main event run, them congratulating me. My mom said she was staying up till 2, 3 in the morning, like looking at the updates on day 4 to see how I was doing. And that's when I had up to 1.4 million chips. So it's cool to have her kind of like in the shadows supporting too. So, I mean, if I did anything, they'd be the first ones to congratulate me, and I know they believe in me. So at this point, I think we're good.
Awesome. I love it. I love to hear that. So, and Andy, what did you learn about Next Gen and Frankie since you guys kind of connected?
Honestly, didn't know what to expect, right? Like you meet someone through their shorts and through their videos. You don't really know what to expect when you meet them in person. And exactly like you said, like class act, like just from the time I got there to the time I left, he was with me every step of the way. Like he treated me like you said, like royalty. Like I got to meet some really cool people. He was always like, ensuring that, hey, do you want something to eat? Or hey, I'm gonna grab food. Like he was just treating me like I was one of his buddies. And like treated me like to an experience of the lifetime. Didn't, like I said, didn't know what to expect, and like he knocked it out of the park. If it's only going to get better from here, I'm truly jealous of any other future contest winners that stumble upon his page. But yeah, like honestly, great guy. I got to meet his buddy Jack as well. Great guy as well. Played some poker with him. I just have nothing but positive things to say about the whole thing and about those guys.
Awesome. I love it. I can't wait to watch the videos, and for sure I'll be checking those out. I can't wait to see the whole journey, how it kind of came together. And yeah, thanks to both of you for joining me today. Really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with both of you guys, right? So Andy, I've actually was in a group chat before this from another WPT global contest that We were trying to win. I didn't win. He did win. He had an amazing video entry, and same as you, Frankie. I loved his energy in that video. I remember showing it to my wife with that entry, and just like I always like when I see a good video when people put passion and energy in it, right? And it just kind of gets your attention. I'm like, oh yeah, like you can just tell when people have heart, and I think you both have a lot of heart. So hopefully, big things from both of you. I appreciate it, and yeah, look forward to seeing what you guys do.
Yeah, thank you so much for the invite. I'm trying to do what that emotion that you felt is what I'm trying to reciprocate in all my videos. So I hope that you enjoy the ones that you do get to see and the ones coming forward. And I really appreciate your time as well. Andy, of course, nice seeing you too.
Keep it going, man. I want to see some good stuff next year. Deep runs.
I'm flying you out my next deep run when we come to Vegas again.
Awesome. That's
awesome.
Colin, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you having me as well.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. I really appreciate it. Frank the Bank, is that still a thing?
Yeah, that's still a thing.
That's still a thing. Awesome. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Colin. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so thanks again, guys, for doing that. Like I said at the start, so much has happened. We'll have to get them back for an update because Frankie's a dad now. But not only that, but on the poker side, he's really moved up in stakes and is currently playing Triton events. Wow. And Andy and I had a blast in Vegas. We roomed together and played the Club WPT Gold $5 million free roll a few months ago. And he gave me some amazing tips. Like, after you go number 2, finish up with a wet baby wipe instead of just toilet paper. And you know what? I think he's onto something here. All right, that's it for another episode of All In with Colin. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be back soon, I promise, with an all-new episode. Hey, Colin, just want to have a quick call with you. Welcome you to the Poker Snooze team and find out what you've been working on this week. Hey, man, thanks for bringing me on board. I'm excited to join Poker Snooze. This week, I've been working on a few big stories, actually. I think they're going to blow the roof off the poker community. First one, over on APR, America's Poker Room. Huge cheating scandal, okay? I got insider info, and basically what's happening is, Colin, sorry, we're going to have to park this story. I haven't told the team yet, so this is going to be a big surprise, but the CEO of APR, America's Poker Room, he's taking our team out to Topgolf next week. Yes, let's go. Beer and wings included. So yeah, we can't run that story. So what else you got? Okay, I thought it was an important piece for the community, but yeah, wings is okay. And beer. Okay, well, my next big story is over at Poker Stairs. Basically, it's been pointed out to me what's happening whenever there's a big series and they're going to have both the overlay. You know, what happens is at the very last second, a bunch of accounts just show up and register for these tournaments, and then they don't have to overlay anything. So I wanted to find out, who are these accounts? Are they bots? Are they house accounts? Are they regs just getting gifted tickets? Like, what's going on, right? So I looked into it, and sorry, Colin, we're going to have to park this story as well. I don't know if you read your hiring package closely or not, but the company that owns Poker Snooze is owned by another company, who's owned by another company, who's owned by another company, and that company also owns Poker Stairs. So we can't talk negatively about our cousins over at Poker Stairs, so that wouldn't work. So what else you got? Okay, well, over on CC Poker, I noticed a lot of people were having bad experience with agents lately, okay? People getting scammed, people not getting paid out. So I wanted to find out more about this program, like how many agents are there actually active out there? And how many accounts do they look after? Who are these agents? How do they get paid? All this kind of stuff. So I've looked into it. Stop, Colin, sorry. CC Poker, they just announced the BYOB tour. That's 2 months of live reporting we're trying to negotiate right now. If we can get that, it'll be huge for our company, right? So we're not going to be able to do anything negatively about that right now because, we don't want them to get mad at us and not give us that business. So we can't do that. I got an idea. Here's what you should do. Why don't you spend the week searching Poker Pro's social medias for any pictures of their pets, any dogs, any cute cat photos. And what we'll do is we'll make a post and we'll try to get the public to figure out which pet goes with what pro. It'll be awesome. Can you do that? Okay. Oh, Colin, don't forget, Topgolf.